A highly sheltered girl does everything to challenge her controlling mother. After years of living isolated and under medical care, longing for her freedom, but she begins to suspect that her mother is hiding a sinister secret. Diane Sharma has just given birth to her premature baby, so small that he could fit in the palm of her hand. Being born early, almost losing his life during childbirth, needing to be kept in an incubator, surviving through respirators. Chloe, a girl who came into the world with many health problems, including arrhythmia, hemochromatosis, asthma, diabetes, and paralysis, losing motor functions, inhibiting touch, and preventing her from walking or escaping. 17 years pass, showing Diane at a parents' meeting for homeschooling students, where they exchange their pains and the will to live longer with their children. When talking about her daughter's special condition, she feels good knowing that she will be going to college in a few months, even though no university has confirmed it yet. She feels that the time she has dedicated and the sacrifices she has made, not being able to travel or date, have allowed her daughter to do that and much more. If there is someone who has faced more physical and emotional challenges in life since the moment she was born, being self-sufficient in everything she dedicates herself to, with great intelligence and strength, that someone is Chloe, her daughter, living alone, just the two of them, in a partially prepared house for Chloe, far from the urban area of Washington, with only her mother as support and assistance in her daily routine, which includes various medications, physical therapy exercises, breathing exercises, nutrition, studies, and checking blood glucose levels. And when it's very low, she loves getting chocolate from her mother. Chloe eagerly awaits her university acceptance letter every week, hoping that her mother will deliver the news when she picks up the mail. During her study routine, Chloe always looked forward to her mother's return from outside to see what she had brought and to find out if there was some delicious chocolate among the items. On one occasion, while her mother was on a phone call, Chloe approached the bags to sneak a peek with the intention of stealing some chocolates. However, as she searches for them, Chloe comes across a new medication, green in color and different in size and shape from what she is used to taking, but she notices that it's in her mother's name and becomes concerned. As evening fell that day, her mother, who is accustomed to bringing her the evening medications, hands her the new medication. Upon realizing this, Chloe confesses to her mother that she took some chocolates and noticed that the medication was in her name. Her mother then explains that it was in her name because the receipt location is the same as the label. Days go by, and the medication continues to be part of her daily routine. Chloe begins to want to understand it better and looks for where her mother keeps all the medications, but they are on a high shelf that she can't reach. To be able to take them, she needs something she can remove and put back without her mother noticing that she touched it. So, with her limited knowledge of robotics, she constructs a claw and manages to grab the medication called trigoxina. She notices that there is a label on top of an older medication, also in her mother's name, but without understanding what that could mean, she returns the medication to where it was. Now, every time she takes the medication, Chloe pretends to swallow it so her mother doesn't realize she's suspicious. Furthermore, Chloe also notices that the mail always arrives on time, and her mother is always there to receive it. However, what makes her suspicious is the fact that her mother once arrived in a hurry, making it evident with the car running, headlights on, and the door open. Chloe, being a girl from a low-income background, never received a cell phone from her mother, and the house had only a landline phone, as well as a computer located on the ground floor of the house for her and her mother to use. Chloe needs to find out what that new medication is and why it's in her mother's name. So, during the night, she goes downstairs to use the computer and conduct her research. However, after turning on the computer and accessing Google, she discovers that there is no internet connection. The next morning, as Chloe comes downstairs for breakfast, she finds her mother on the phone, talking to customer service about the internet outage, and they can only resolve the issue within a month. Now there is only one form of communication in the house, the landline phone. Chloe then waits for her mother to go outside to tend to the plantation and calls the pharmacy where Diane always buys the medications. However, when the pharmacy answers, they have caller ID, and they realize the call is coming from her house. Chloe immediately hangs up, tries to call another pharmacy, but without success because there is a fee for this service. Chloe races against time before her mother returns inside the house, having to call any random number. This time, a man answers and conducts the research for her, stating that it is a medication for heart conditions. But upon discovering that the search results indicate the medication is red in color, Chloe almost has an asthma attack, increasing her doubts and suspicions. During dinner, Chloe asks to go to the cinema the next day, knowing that there is a pharmacy in front of the cinema. This would be her only chance to find out what medication it was. So, while she's at the cinema, she asks to go to the restroom and goes straight to the pharmacy before her mother realizes it. There, handing the pill to the clerk, she discovers that she was being medicated with lidocaine, a medication for dogs that, if consumed by humans, can lead to leg paralysis. Diane, desperate, finds Chloe struggling to breathe in the pharmacy and takes her back home, where she is treated with an injectable medication for asthma attacks. The next day, when Chloe wakes up, she discovers that she is locked in her room. She tries to unlock the door with her tools, but the door is locked from the outside. With only the windows as an option to escape, she devises a risky plan. Chloe checks her blood glucose level, eats well, grabs a soldering iron with an extension cord, a blanket, and fills her mouth with water. Then, she jumps out of the window, crawling along the roof to reach another window in the house. With the closed glass window, Chloe uses the soldering iron to heat the glass and spits out the water she was holding in her mouth, cracking and breaking the glass. With the help of the blanket, she manages to pass over the shards of broken glass from the window. Her effort was so great that, upon reaching the other side, she starts to have an asthma attack again but manages to open the door to her room and use her inhaler. Chloe is now free to leave, but her mother has turned off everything in the house, and there is no way to go down the stairs. Desperate to get out, she gathers her last strength, throws her wheelchair, and throws herself down the stairs. The fall is brutal and injures her severely, but as she tries to get up, she notices movement in her toe. This gives her more strength, and she manages to get into her wheelchair and sets off down the road in search of help. On the road, Chloe encounters a mail delivery van, which was heading towards her house that day. She explains her situation with her mother, knowing that her mother is aware of the schedules and could intercept them on the way. The mail carrier does his best to protect Chloe, saying he would like to help her by taking her to the hospital. However, Diane, desperate, seizes a moment when Chloe is getting into the van, while the mail carrier is distracted and injects her with a medication that causes her to faint. Chloe is taken back home and this time is locked in the basement, a place she had never gone down to before. She realizes that the place is a space often used by her mother, with a television and many old documents and records. There, she finds her university acceptance letter, photos she had never seen of herself as a child, revealing that she used to walk and have fun like any normal child. To her surprise, she also comes across a death certificate with her own name on it, recording her death at just 2 hours and 11 minutes old. To understand better, Chloe searches through the documents even more and finds a newspaper article in which a baby kidnapper was still at large. At this moment, the movie reveals to us that Diane took advantage of an opportunity at the hospital after her daughter's death to steal a baby who had been born on the same day, completely healthy and with a striking physical resemblance. Chloe is devastated to understand everything, while Diane finds her crying in the basement. The two of them argue about the entire charade that the girl lived through, discovering the truth about her health and almost a lifetime of poisoning to mimic the same characteristics her prematurely born daughter had. Chloe now knowing everything, Diane is about to inject a homemade neurotoxin with thinner, which we believe would be to completely paralyze her legs. Scared and unsure of what her mother would do with it, she locks herself in the medicine pantry, where she finds products used in the garden. Realizing where she is, she chooses and ingests a product called organophosphate, highly dangerous and requiring urgent medical attention. Diane has no choice but to take her immediately, even if Chloe is already unconscious. Being rescued at the hospital, Chloe wakes up still in critical condition in the ICU, unable to move her body or speak, only managing to move her finger with great effort. The doctors, as a safety measure, tell Diane that, even with her unstable condition, Her suicide attempt in adolescence puts her in the high-risk patient category. They inform her that a psychiatrist will only evaluate Chloe when she is able to speak. Chloe, aware of the danger she is in with her mother nearby, does her utmost to try to communicate. Even though she still can't speak, she tries to write something on a piece of paper for the attending doctor. But before she can finish, an emergency call rings throughout the hospital, summoning all the doctors. Diane, now armed, takes advantage of the moment when everyone is busy in the hospital to try to get Chloe out of there. However, as they are heading to the parking lot, the doctor returns to look for Chloe again. Not finding her, she sees the paper with the word mother written on it and triggers the alarm signal for the security guards, who go after them. Diane, hearing that the police are heading straight for her location, and not having planned that moment, finds herself at a malfunctioning escalator, with no way out. Chloe is standing there, unable to escape, but right in front of her, she reads an advertisement from the university she had been accepted to, which says, "Have no limits to enter college." This moves her so much that at that moment she manages to move her foot out of the wheelchair, preventing her mother from moving the chair. The police find her and ask her to lower the weapon, but on the edge of the escalator, she is shot for not obeying the officer, falling down the stairs. 7 years later, Chloe, now able to walk a little, is shown visiting Diane in a women's prison. She mentions that she now has a husband and a daughter who is learning to walk. Chloe reveals that she is now helping children with paralysis, indicating that she pursued a career in the medical field. She expresses her happiness when she sees some of her patients able to walk. Diane only listens and looks at her because the shot that caused her to fall down the stairs left her tetraplegic, confined to a bed. Chloe chose not to distance herself from her former mother in order to always be close and force her to ingest the same green medication that caused paralysis in her legs. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this. Until next time.